Let's start with the big news of the week. Um, President Trump's apparent turnaround on Ukraine. What do you make of that?
Unfortunately, the initial excitement has already worn off for a couple reasons. Number one, in less than 24 hours, both Secretary Rubio and Secretary Bessent gave indications that this is not going to be a major policy shift, that they really are. I hate to say it, but I think they're trying to wash their hands of the whole Ukraine thing. And when the president said that, that Ukraine was doing great and they could win with support from the EU, that's an important distinction. He didn't say from NATO. He said from the EU, of course, which does not include the United States. And when he talks about Russia being a paper tiger, I would support that, by the way. But that also is another way of kind of saying that, so we don't need to be here anymore. We have other things to focus on. Now, I could be reading too much into it, but I haven't seen or felt or heard anything beyond the president's statement that tells me that this is a real policy shift.
Yeah, that is a very interesting interpretation, sir. Because, of course, in the aftermath, and still to this day, there seems to be a great deal of excitement, at least being reported, coming out of Ukraine over the president's announcement. It's interesting because the way he phrased it, that they could win back all the territory. And then I think he threw in a line and then some or something to that effect. Uh, is that is that in the realm of the possible? Is it realistic?
I have always believed that Ukraine could get back all of its territory if we, the United States and our allies, made that the strategic objective. I mean, my goodness, just the countries of Europe combined dwarfs whatever Russia has. So it's not like we don't have the ability to do it. It's all about committing to that as an objective. The Biden administration never did it, and the Trump administration, both one or two, have never stated clearly that that's our objective. Ukraine has stopped Russia after 11 years of war, with Russia having every advantage, and Russia is never going to be able to defeat Ukraine unless we just totally turn our back. So I think if we made it our objective, it would absolutely happen that Ukraine could do that. And it's in our interest that they do that. What happens in Ukraine affects us because it affects the security and stability and prosperity of Europe, our biggest trading partner. And it also sends a message to China that we have the political will and the ability to stop Russia. Right now, I think China's not too impressed.
Yeah, yeah. China, I mean, again, I think is always you can always count on them to do whatever is specifically in their best interests. So they're always looking at these relationships, particularly the relationship with Russia. I think from that perspective, it's we sometimes read too much into their bromance or oh my God, it's a no limits partnership. I personally don't believe that that's how Xi Jinping thinks. If we stick with President Trump's comments to the UN, what do you make of his comment about NATO, about the U.S. will continue to supply weapons to NATO? They can do with them what they will. Is that of interest, or is that just we were going to sell them weapons anyway?
Of course, what he said was allies can buy weapons from us and then they can give them to Ukraine.
Mm.
I mean, that's not exactly uh, Roosevelt or Eisenhower or Truman-esque in terms of statesman-like leadership. It makes us look like it's more of just a weapons transaction instead of something that's in the best interest, strategic interest of the United States. Now, at the end of the day, if it does increase capabilities that are provided to Ukraine, I'm for it. Um, and of course, the United States sells arms to much of the world, especially now after most of the world has seen that what Russia makes turns out to be not that good. So the problem is several European countries are starting to waver or change their mind about are they going to buy U.S. capabilities. partly in reaction to tariffs, partly in reaction to concern that the U.S., the vendor, might not be able to fulfill all of the obligations for political reasons. So we've seen a couple of countries back away from F-35, for example, and Denmark just made a decision to go with a European air defense system instead of American. So I want the United States to be seen as the arsenal of democracy, but it's not just a matter of making weapon systems available. For me, Mike, the most important thing is the president laying out our strategic objective. What do we want the world to look like at the end of this conflict in Ukraine? And I think what we want is a Europe that is prosperous, which means it's stable and secure, which means that Russia is living back inside its own boundaries. And for China to realize that the United States will defend sovereignty. Right now, I think the Chinese think we're a little bit flexible on sovereignty.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment, a really positive, nice, and kind comment. That would be appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates.